So welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. Just got a little update on using the R1R2 test link lead in an actual distribution board. If you saw the previous video that I did on this lead, I tested everything on the bench, including the RCBO units, and just had them sitting horizontally and using the R1R2 lead to test the actual resistance of the connection. And the only actual RCBO I had issue with trying to get the R1R2 link lead in was the contactum RCBO. The one from Hager, MK and BG all worked fine. I'll zoom in and you can hopefully see I've got a little demo board set up here, and you can see that I'm actually got the R1R2 link on the Hager breaker at this moment in time, and there's no problem with that. I'll just flip it over onto the MK RCBO there, and there's no problem with that one. I'm just going to put this onto the BG one, and you can see I can't get it to sit. The screw head on the BG RCBO looks to be a smaller, more like a Posi 1 screw head rather than the Posi 2 on both the Hager and the MK. Also, it's not recessed as deeply, so the little magnetic head on this doesn't get the support from the plastic surround. You can kind of get over it by putting a little wooden block underneath the screw, and then that supports it and you can get away with it and do its measurements. But as it stands, just using the R1R2 link on its own with the breaker in the correct vertical position when it's installed, it does fall out of the BG RCBO units. It sits inside an MCB, no problems, but just not this particular BG RCBO. The other one I will attempt to do is demo the R1R2 link and a parallel earth path. I've got an external socket installed off of this distribution board. It is quite a short run of cable, and the actual armour is only earthed at one end, at this board end, as would be normal practice. But what I'm going to do is earth up the armour temporarily at the socket end, and that will create me a parallel earth path with the internal core being used as the earth. And then I can do a test with the R1R2 link, both with it used as you see connected up here, and then just pull the earth out of that circuit and test with just the core used in the cable and remove the parallel earth path caused by the armour and see if it gives me a different reading. Okay, so we reset everything to do our test with a parallel earth path. I've taken out the Hager and MK breaker out of the board, because obviously they're not type tested for a BG board, and it would be a bit naughty to leave them in there, so we won't do that. I've reconfigured the test circuit so that we are on the outgoing terminal on the RCBO going out to the socket, and we've got the other end of the R1R2 lead clipped onto the earth bar of the board there, as you can see. Just nip outside now and we'll do the test on the socket. So we're out at the socket doing the test. This is running the test with the armour providing a parallel earth path to the core being used as the earth, and you can see the reading we get there, circa 0.018 ohms. So that's with the armour and the core acting as an earth. Okay, so we're back at the board. I'm going to try and do this without upsetting that connection on the RCBO there, see how well we can do this, and just pull the core being used as the earth. Clip that on there, down, so haven't disturbed that. We clipped onto the core of the armed cable that's being used as the earth, and I'm clear of the earth bar there as well. So we'll nip back out to the socket again and we'll do another test. So we'll do our test again here, we're running that, and you can see they're actually running at 0.027, and that's without the parallel earth. So you can see, I say it is a very short run of cable, this one, so the effect isn't as good. But you can see one had a parallel earth path caused by the armour being earthed at both ends of the cable, I do get a slightly lower resistance when using the R1R2 lead connected to the earth bar and the live wire going out to the circuit. If I disconnect the core being used as the earth and actually clip direct onto that, so no longer connected to the earth bar, and I've no longer got the armour acting as a parallel earth path, I do get a slightly higher reading. So yeah, it's up to the test engineer, I guess. If you're doing a brand new install, then you perhaps want to make sure you haven't got any parallel earth paths. If you're doing a periodic inspection on it, then I guess it's up to the test engineer to decide as to whether they're going to carry out the test with parallel earth paths and note that as a limitation on the test certificate, or whether they want to go to the length of disconnecting everything and doing the tests whilst trying to remove the earth paths. Of course, in this scenario, you've been able to do that, but if you're in a more industrial scenario, you've got a lot more parallel earth paths due to multiple cables being earthed at the armours and metal staunches, metal clad buildings, all acting as parallel earth paths, then that may be a bit more difficult to do. In any case, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.